Closed captioning for tonight's program provided by Chaminade University, offering the Ho'oulu Scholarship in partnership with Kamehameha Schools.
Inspired by their love of music, young industrious native Hawaiian men filled the courtyards of Ka'iwi'ula with their beautiful voices and harmonies, establishing a tradition that embodies the spirit and culture of the Hawaiian people. On May 26, 1921, the very first song contest took place at Bishop Hall on the shared campus of the Kamehameha School for Boys and the Bishop Museum. The competition was held at night between the 7th and 8th graders. For those who were curious, it was the 8th graders who were victorious that night. How did this humble choral competition evolve and grow into a celebration that has spanned 100 years? In the 1800s, choral music found its way to the Hawaiian Islands. Missionaries introduced hymns and singing in parts to create Western harmonies. In time, our ali'i would receive musical training as a part of the curriculum at the Royal School, a boarding school reserved for the children of the highest-ranking chiefs. With Western style of music as a form of expression and entertainment, they formed singing clubs and participated in spirited singing competitions. Our ali'i became some of the most prolific composers of the late 19th century art songs. Queen Liliuokalani and her siblings, along with the Royal Hawaiian Bandmaster Henry Berger, influenced the development of through-composed marches, waltz, and ballads. In 1889, Dr. Theodore Richards was hired as a music teacher at Kamehameha School for Boys and later served as its principal. He is credited with promoting both formal choral music and the Ivy League Glee Club traditions to Hawaii. It is no surprise that among his students was the talented Charles E. King, who was also mentored by Queen Liliuokalani. It was King's musical legacy that would shape the classic repertoire of the Kamehameha School's song contest tradition. At the first song contest, songs by Leleohoku, Kalakaua, and Liliuokalani were sung by the young men of Kamehameha schools. The students competed as a class, vying for the George Allenson Andrews Trophy. The trophy was to honor the school's former music director, whose life inspired the idea for the song competition. The following year, the Kamehameha School for Girls held its first song contest competition. These young women competed for the New England Mothers' Cup. The trophy was donated to the school by Mrs. E.G. Scoville. As the annual singing competition continued, the values and traditions started to crystallize. While the daily use of Hawaiian language was in serious decline, the singing of Hawaiian songs remained popular. The objectives of the song contest are to build up the repertoire of the best in Hawaiian music for the cultural heritage of any student who attends Kamehameha, to develop leadership, cooperation, and good class spirit. By the 1940s, both the boys and girls schools were relocated to the slopes of Kapalama, and the school continued the song contest tradition.
Two forces dictated the energy at Kamehameha. One was ROTC. I mean, you lived, ate, and breathed military. We were, in effect, a military institute in those years. And the second thing was singing. The songs and the music was a way to escape from that and be yourself.
We had two song contests. One song contest for the girls themselves, and then the song contest for the boys.
And our song contest was 2 nights, Friday night and Saturday night.
In those days, it was held in the old Kekuhaupio, an old Quonset hut, airplane hangar type of structure. Each class sang 2 songs. One song was the prize song, and the other song was a choice song. The prize song was sung by every class, so that there was a common denominator.
By the mid-1950s, grades 7th and 8th would no longer compete. The Kahoolawe campus expanded to service more young Hawaiians, and the song contest continued to grow. Then, Kamehameha schools became co-educational. The co-ed category was added. With the new changes, a new co-ed trophy was established to honor the esteemed composer Charles Edward King. And it is the only competition that the new freshman class is able to participate in. In the nearly 50 years of the award's existence, there have been only 5 times where the young freshman class has taken the trophy. Near the end of the 1960s, Hawaii, like other places in the world, was going through social and political changes. How do students of Kamehameha schools respond to the bright lights and cameras as they share their Hawaiian identity and the tradition of song contests with a broader audience?
I had no idea that I would try to be the song leader. Honestly, there were much more talented and experienced musicians in my class. Choral singing was a fundamentally important part of our grandparents' and our great-grandparents' daily life. That ability to harmonize is a really, really important part of this communal kind of singing, this community singing, which I believe is an essential part of the identity of the Kanaka Maoli. And now that we have younger people who are writing songs, composing new mele that can be enshrined in song contests, it's even more important because it signals the rebirth of our ability to not only speak our language, but to be creative in it, to compose in it, to be poetic in this language. I think it's taught me some really important things about why we are alive and what it means to be Hawaiian.
The Kamehameha School's song contest outgrew the field house of Kekuhaupio, and the plans were to move the competition off campus to a new venue in the islands. In 1965, the annual singing competition moved to the Honolulu International Center. Now known as the Neil S. Blaisdell Center in honor of Honolulu's former mayor, the building completed construction in 1964, and just 1 year later, it became the new venue for the Kamehameha School's Haumana to shine. In 1968, the song contest competition was televised. The tradition of song contest was now shared in the homes across the aina. For 3 months, Haumana prepared for competition to prove their mastery of mele, olelo, and musicality. Students were voted by their peers to be song directors, who are given arduous tasks of leading the class to victory. The coveted Louise Aoi McGregor Award was presented in 1972 to honor the outstanding student director.
When you're a song leader and you're 14, 15, 17, you don't have all of that life experience under you, and yet you're put into a position where you have to be thinking about the interests of 200, 450 students.
Once the classes are finished with their performances, an intermission is taken for the judges' scores to be tabulated. The school needed to quickly fill the airtime during broadcasts. In earlier years, spirited community singing helped to pass the time. But this new televised setting called for something more. The students of Kamehameha schools, under the direction of Winona Beamer, presented island pageantry and performed hula to entertain the audiences, and a new tradition was born. Ho'ike became a way to showcase our mo'olelo through song and dance. Robert Casimiro, Wayne Chang, Leina Alahaini, Holo'ua Stender, and Randy Fong created innovative ways to explore the burgeoning Hawaiian identity and values.
We realize this significant medium that we have, and we try to take advantage of that in good and positive ways. I don't think it's just for the school. One of the first things we discuss is what do we want the community to walk away with? What do we want the audience tuning in to understand about Ho'ike?
The late 70s and 80s in Hawaii brought the revival of identity and a deep desire to reconnect with who we are as Hawaiians. The Hawaiian Renaissance ushered in the Protect Kahoolawe movement, the maiden voyage of Hokule'a, the creation of Punanaleo, and many other kipuka where vibrant Hawaiian communities were being cultivated. In many ways, Kamehameha schools and the song contest competitions exposed the haumana to these social transformations while strengthening the school as a Hawaiian institution of learning. Mr. Lyman, a Kamehameha School's trustee from 1959 to 1988, was keenly interested in the preservation of Hawaiian language and culture. The Richard Lyman Jr. Olelo Makuahine Award was created to recognize excellence in the use of the Hawaiian language within a song.
Hawaiian metaphor and Hawaiian poetry is just so beautiful and so elaborate that one can only hope to understand all the different levels of kauna in any one song.
Ke ano o ka olelo, o kau olelo e olelo ana, e ho'ohana ana. Oia ke kahi ano no'ono'o ke kahi. He no'ono'o no leila ka olelo Hawaii, he mea e ho'ono'ono'o ana, I kou no'ono'o ke kahi maka no na mea Hawaii.
Throughout the years, the arrangement style of the competition songs also evolved. New generations of song arrangers pushed the boundaries of creativity, sometimes maintaining tradition, and other times creating new sounds and experiences. The Kamehameha Alumni Association donated the Helen Deshay Beamer Award that recognized the best musical performance. The award honors the substantial contributions of Helen Deshay Beamer to the repertoire of Hawaiian music. Amidst social, cultural, and technological changes over time, much of the song contest tradition remains unchanged. It has always been a showcase of the very best of Hawaiian musical repertoire. 100 years of students have sung songs of their kupuna, preserving the valuable stories that have revitalized our lahui to its current standing. These mele are the pages of our history, kept alive at the tip of the tongue. On this, the 100th annual song contest, we realize that we are the kupuna for the century to come. We affirm that there are more pages to our story. And thus, we know there are more mele to be written. In doing so, we ensure that we continue to tell our stories of today for tomorrow. What mele will be sung about us 100 years from now? A select number of Kamehameha High School students had the opportunity to work with hapu mele, composers from the community, to create 10 new compositions commemorating important stories of our lahui today. These mele, composed by the haumana, will be performed at this year's song contest. This year's theme is I mau ke aloha aina, 100 years of song contest. May our patriotic devotion to our Hawaii homeland endure forever. We had the opportunity to visit with a select group of the student cohorts and their skilled hapu mele mentors and learn more about the mo'olelo of aloha aina today. Just like our ali'i and kupuna who wrote mele and preserved the world around them, it is our haumana who will ensure our Hawaiian identity is alive and well for the next 100 years.
I was never nervous. I was excited. You know how a bull feels when they're ready to come out of the pen? It's like, yeah!
To be honest, I can't think of anything more stressful than having been a director at song contests.
You know, I honestly don't remember. I feel like everything is just going so quickly that you're just like...
My directing style is mele apana style.
I like big gestures. I thought it was really important to communicate the emotion of the song.
Like, just a calm style.
It's like an outer body experience. Just me and my class, me and my kupuna, me and my ancestors, me and our energy. It's just, we're just here, and we're gonna take everyone on a ride. It's not about me, it's not about you, it's about all of us.
To be honest, I never looked at it personally as a competition, as it was a celebration.
It's an exciting experience. There's no other words. I don't think I've ever felt something close to that in my life.
Hokulea has always been a part of my life.
I was born the same year the Hokulea was put in the water, back in '76, where it had a resurgence of new songs being created at that time. That's important that we continue to write songs now and brand new songs, because haku mele is key to preserving all of this kind of knowledge.
There was this cohort meeting about the 100th song contest being that students in this school would be able to write songs. From there, they would split everybody up who signed up into 10 different groups. So I chose va'a lessons, learning about the life lessons you would learn on a va'a.
The same lessons that we preach now, but on the canoe, it's a microcosm, right? It's an island. That's our island. He va'a, he moku, he moku, he va'a.
He va'a, he moku, he moku, he va'a, meaning that your va'a is your land and your land is your canoe.
We often use the word think va'a, think canoe. So when things get really tough and you're not sure what to do, it's like think canoe, like what is your next step?
So there's 4 lessons we wanted to share in the mele. One being obtaining information from those before you. The second one being preparing yourself for like this kind of voyage you're gonna go on. And 3 is the actual voyage. And then 4 is with the knowledge you obtain, how are you gonna share with others?
I'm blessed to have been taught by Papa Mau Piailuk, and he would always share with us that, you know, the ocean does not divide us. It actually bridges us together. It's the highway. We have to be mindful that the ocean carries all the things that we use. What you put in the ocean goes to them. What they put in the ocean comes to us. And so the responsibility of knowing all of that, truly, malama honua, and taking care of our land base, takes care of the world.
When we first met our kumukuanune, it was like a start of a friendship. Like her experiences on the boat with Papa Mau, you don't find a whole bunch of people with those kind of experiences of being on the va'a with Papa Mau. And it's just a wonderful experience to get this knowledge from her that you won't get from anybody else.
The preparation of a voyage, right, is to work on the canoe so that you understand how the canoe works. And just like this mele, we did a little bit research because they're really young. So they, you know, Hokulea seems so long ago for them.
10 to 15 people in one group, all with the same idea, all with the same goal, coming together to make this mele for song contest.
We had the song director, we had Seth with us, and I always put him in charge. And you know, I said, okay, you're the one, you got to tell them what to do.
Being alakai was one, having the responsibilities of having everyone together, everybody prepared for one meeting. We would have to prepare the group for places we would go to. For us, we went on a huaka'i.
It's the best classroom because it's real. And when you're on a sailing canoe in particular, right, the canoe cannot move forward. Like the canoe can go around in a circle. And I told them that sometimes writing a song is like going around in a circle. You can put the paddle in all you want, but where are we going? You know, so it's very important for them to take charge and to own it, yeah, to own that kind of experience. And that was good for Seth, I think. He had to rise up and be that person.
Putting yourself in that perspective of being on the va'a was really, really helpful of see all the things that they've seen in that place we were at. That was the birth of the first va'as that were made. So being there kind of helped us realize that this is gonna be like the birth of our mele, or our own type of va'a.
Another important aspect for me with the cohort was to bring somebody that I felt could share more than I could. So I invited Chad Paishan to come, and he's a po navigator. He sailed on Hokulea, Hawaiian, Makali'i, and many of our canoes. While we're out at Hakipu'u, we're blessed to interact with a charter school, Malama Honua Charter School. It's based out in Waimanalo. Their school was partly founded with Nainoa. And it's really based around voyaging and Hawaiian voyaging.
So it was really amazing to see that younger kids than us. They're there learning the things that we're trying to learn, and this movement of Hawaiian is just going.
For them, I said, this is just the prep work. This is the preparation for your voyage. And the voyage will actually be when you sing it, right? Like when you actually execute it and you're gonna sing it at song contest, that's gonna be the voyage. And let's see, can you see the island at the end?
You don't realize how big it is until you kind of like showed the class. It was kind of eye-opening that so much people love the song and love the music video that came out. Now it's this big thing where students are singing the song, singing the arrangement of the song, and now it's gonna be shown on like song contests, which is pretty amazing how this small idea just comes into this big picture.
So we feel it being a real honor that we continue the legacy of voyaging in modern day Hawaii, because we know that it was from the wā kahiko.
At first, you don't think that you can do anything because you're a student, but coming together with other students, creating this song, you learn that there's so much things you can actually do as a student, and holding that kind of with you throughout your whole life, you create this responsibility of knowing that you can do anything.
For the Naipo family, Stacy is actually our first song contest leader, although we do have Naipos that go all the way back to 1800s, yeah?
To be honest, my favorite part about song contest is the ho'ike. For me, is the storytelling. I enjoy listening to the history and just the story behind it.
For me, song contest is the epitome of hula, mele, mo'olelo, and all the kauna that goes with it. Yes, we did not win, but that was not the point. The point of song contest is we are one.
I can tell you this, winning is fantastic. My hands come together for that final note. I push my girls back into their seats. And then I realize at that point, we've given everything we've got. We laid it all out on the floor. And now, now I'm done.
Let me just say that winning is good, but it's not all that, really. No. It's not.
It's pretty fun. Said the two buggers that never win yet.
I was at Mayday for her Waiakea High School. And then when that huge earthquake happened and they're like, magma's coming out, like lava is out and it's on the road, it's coming through people's houses. You know, there's mass evacuations from certain areas. As I'm watching a lot of the feeds, you're hearing a lot of the things that we chat about at that spot in our pele chants and our dances. You have the wallow coming through the forest with all of that cracking sound and the thundering from the eruption. There's flows coming through in Rampart. A couple of weeks later, you're looking at hotter pahoehoe flowing like rivers. And so for me, it was being able to see a lot of our chants being brought back, or actually being able to see them vividly. When I was approached to work with the students for this year's song contest, one of the things that I wanted them to look at, since they wanted to talk about Fissure 8 and the eruption that just had happened the other year, I kind of wanted them to get a little bit more familiar with the landscape. That was hugely important for me.
It was special to me, especially because it is from my home. I have family down that side of the island. I feel that part of being a Hawaiian, it is my kuleana to be a part of this moment in history where we're taking events that are happening today and turning it into mele so that future generations can know what was happening when we were here.
One of the hakmele's function or roles in society is to document the era and to put out things that are relevant to us now. So I appreciated that about this particular song contest.
Okay, meeting Kumu Manaya Kalani was just amazing. That's all I really have to say. On every topic that we would bring up, he would have a mo'olelo for it and explain it to us. Just how he made the space so comfortable, so where we wanted to share and to give to the mele.
I definitely see a shift in the students that are coming out, or the younger generations that are coming out. They have a lot more experiences that are conscious, that gives them that connection. that connection to aina it's pulling harder, I think, now on the generations that we have.
I feel that it strengthened my concept and belief of aloha aina, because for me, it's automatic that you should just take care of your land. You were blessed with it, so why would you not take care of it?
How do we steward it? How do we take care of it and make sure that it's reciprocal? That we're taking as much care of the aina as much as it's taking care of us.
Yeah, it's a simple respect thing that our kupuna had for their land. They knew that the land provided for them. We didn't have Costco or anything like that. They were dependent on the land and the ocean for food to live. One of the main ideas and themes that we have is how the aina is still there, and there's also new land that is created. So with the eruption, there's a cycle.
The perspective on how people were looking at it and how people were affected by it were very vast and quite different. Some people were like, we need to get rid of the flow, do something to stop it. And then you look at a lot of the local families, or the people that have lived there for generations, are all cleaning their yards, cleaning the house, and they're like, if the tutu comes, take the house, at least the house clean.
Well, being a hula dancer, we learn about pele and mele, and it gives a new perspective on the whole idea of just aina and how the pele creates new aina. Our ancestors knew that land wasn't an object, so they took care of it and they loved it so much that they would give names to it, because having a name is important. That's who you are and what you are.
We get a little sad sometimes when a lot of the names get lost to estates or subdivisions. For instance, Kahoolawe and Leilani, right? If they start to do Leilani estates and they're like, where's the Leilani? You can't find it on an old Ahupua'a map from the 1900s because Leilani didn't exist. It was a tourist grab.
So we wanted to make sure that we put all the names of the places that aren't there anymore and the places that are there now, because we didn't hold it in the mele. People won't know those place names in another 100 years or so.
I think it's a beautiful thing for Haumana at this 100th anniversary of something like this. I think it's really important that they're taking a step into the actual composition process. I don't think that in previous years, the school as a whole or the Haumana as a whole were ready for something like this. I think we're finally at a place that we can, that our students, they have the desire to do it. They have the drive to do it.
Well, this is a really big year because this is the 100th anniversary and it is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So it's amazing that I have the opportunity to be a senior this year. Oh my gosh. And to just be a part of it. It just really means a lot.
My journey as a director started in intermediate school. The class was empty after school, but I just wanted to hold the pencil on the conductor's platform in the middle of the classroom. And I started playing with my pencil, mimicking the teacher at that time, Miss Bridges. I didn't know she was in the back in her office watching me at the time. And she came out and I froze. Rather than scolding me, she asked me, "Are you interested in directing?" I said, "Yeah, maybe." And so she actually taught me how to do 4/4 time with the pencil. When we won my junior year, I was just so grateful, and I was so proud of my classmates that night. It's humbling to know that something this important is continued to persevere in times when perhaps Hawaiian music and language were not celebrated. And to have seen how Kamehameha Schools has endured that is profound.
1 year ago today, Kauai woke up to a devastated landscape after a U.S. record of nearly 50 inches of rain fell in 24 hours.
The district of Hanalei
is bountiful in water, in lush valleys, high cliffs, beautiful white sand beaches. It's the paradise that a lot of us envision as the most beautiful place on earth. And with that beauty comes responsibility. Hanalei itself is known for its rain. Because there's a lot of rivers and streams, flooding is the thing that happens.
It was truly like a blessing that the school chose to honor what happened and what the people went through, because when I saw that there was an opportunity that I can honor my home and my family and the stories about this land, I was so excited.
Several students who are from Kauai, and 2 of them were from Hanalei district, and they had firsthand information of how the flood had affected their places.
Well, during that time, nobody was really going around with cars and trucks because the roads were so wet and all the landslides that happened. So my dad was going on this little mule and driving people back and forth. Auntie Kainani, she gave this saying, "Lu'ulu'u Hanalei iko wanui." It means Hanalei is burdened by the rain, but also it's a showing of grief or affection to someone else. There's always multiple perspectives to everything in life. And it was at that moment when the group realized oh, this wasn't just a flood, it was a healing process for the community as well, because it also brought all the people together.
The Hanalei communities, they're really working hard to restore their place, and they're engaging more with the government to say, this is what we want and this is what we don't want. You should listen to our voice because we know what we're talking about. We live here every day. The restoration that is happening in the ocean, in the valleys, on the land, it's also happening in the people as well.
We get so caught up in the modern life that sometimes you kind of drift away from the people that are near to you, and you forget what your kuleana is to your aina or to your family.
After the flooding happened, about a week or 2 later, I was able to go into that restricted area, and I was able to see what Hanalei looked like in healing mode.
During the healing process, the limu was abundant. All the fish, there's piles of fish in the bays. All the forests were all clean. There was no trash anywhere on the beach, no one on the roads. And the land was at ease.
It was so refreshing to hear the reports of the healing, the restoration. Up until then, the stories usually went the other way. Oh, no more this anymore. It's all gone. Too many people, too much sunscreen, all those kinds of issues. And then in the healing of the land, we can really see who's in charge. It's the land, and the community will adjust in the way they have to.
Auntie Kainani taught us that aina and mele are of equal importance, because in the past, without a written language, mele is how everything survived, through hula, oli. It was the mele that kept the stories alive, the place names, the rain names, the wind names, everything.
Those are the very resources that show us the connection between the kanaka and the land. And so when we create as contemporary haku mele, we have to hold those values in high regard as well. We have to perform the mele. We have to teach the songs. If it's only to keep in the book or on the paper, it will not live. It has to live through the practice of singing, the practice of chanting, the practice of hula. I feel so privileged to be able to work with young Hawaiian students, young Hawaiians who have the fire in them to be a part of their community, to be a part of making music, to be a part of learning how to compose mele Hawaii.
This isn't something that's just
Like, we're just doing for song contest. We're doing this for the lahui. The kids of Hawaii will be watching this, and then they'll find out why this song was created and for what reason was this story shared. And as a class, that's really what I'm hoping that they'll gain from this experience.
One of the first things I told them was, well, we're going to create something that your grandchildren will be researching, and that your grandchildren will be singing, and that your grandchildren will be very proud to know of your participation in this process.
This mele is bigger than us. It's gonna last longer than our lifetime. So this is a really big kuleana on our shoulders.
It does not take a trophy to prove yourself as a class. In fact, our junior year, we lost to Timothy Ho's class by 1 point.
It was junior year. Boy, did we sound good. And I look back at that and I think, why didn't we win? We were robbed.
Of course, you want to win, but by that time, you're just enjoying the moment.
I remember even Robert Casimiro saying how we were just terrible. It was the Thursday before song contest.
Just to realize how far we've come as a class, and then to realize that this was the last time we'll ever sing together.
This is our last chance. You have to band together and do this. There's no other years coming. Suck it up and do it now. And there was not a dry eye in the house. We all hugged it out at the end. And then we went on. We did it. It was insane.
And our senior year, we got a perfect score.
Winning, oh, the feeling of winning. To hold that trophy finally, going out with a bang, our senior year was just amazing.
If you think about the history of Kahoolawe, May 1941, the U.S. military comes in and there's an agreement made between the ranches that were there and the U.S. military for them to have a portion of land at $1 rent to practice. And then December 7, 1941 happens, and the territory becomes part of martial law, and they take over the entire island. There's a long history of what Kahoolawe meant to the people. It's the people's story about the places that they call home. It's our kulaivi, right? It's the place where the bones of our ancestors are buried. There's many archaeological sites that you can just walk right up to. People went there, people fished there. So as makua, I couldn't say no to an opportunity to model for our keiki what their possible future could be like.
O kumu snowbird, o komoawi kona papa, papa nohana Hawaii maka papa malao ma ke kulaha'a o Kamehameha nei. Ua hula wau ma lalo kona malu ma ke kulawaina. Mauno ko'u ma'o ana mai iaia, nā mea pauloa, nā ano mea like ole.
I think as Hawaiians, we traditionally have a deep connection to our environment. I think mele is a beautiful way to honor our aina and to show aloha aina. Oli and Hula spoke to me because they told the stories of our land and our people. And when this idea came forward of haku mele, I just thought it would be awesome for me to be able to take a part in creating a new song, birthing a new mele into this world to honor Kahoolawe and the beauty that continues to flourish over there.
I showed them a whole gamut of different mele for the island so that they could be influenced by the way that the music or the oli made them feel.
We looked at specifically a chant about Kahoolawe and specifically the 9 people that went there on Ava'a to protest and to occupy the land while it was still being bombed, which is, I don't know, that's very brave, I think. But we researched and we found their names, and then we also tried to honor them once again in our mele by embedding them in our song that we created.
Seeing a land that was devastated by so many years of military bombing, that the people were starting to say that this is wrong. And what can we do to influence some kind of change? So the PKO stands for Protect Kahoolawe Ohana. They've decided that time to take Kahoolawe back, bring it back to the people. In 2017, Protect Kahoolawe Ohana celebrated 40 years since the first landing, 40 years of aloha aina. And then moving forward, how do we continue to move forward and get the message across?
Nui nā ike a nā haumana pākahi ahe pau ka ike makahalau ho'okahi o ia no ke kahi olelo no e au a tutupuku I wehewehe mai a makou. A ohe no ka ike ma ho'okahi wahi, ho'okahi po'e wale no ka ana ia ka ike. Ke hui pū naka pau hiki no ke kūkulua e ke ia ike I kahi pai, kahi kahua. Ma leila no ke kahua ma mua, ma hope ke kukulu ia ke ia mele.
We have to think about Kamehameha 100 years ago. Hawaiian language was not allowed to be spoken here. And so you fast forward 100 years later, and we have an administration and a system that empowers our students to tap into their olelo and their ability to write and compose for things that are happening for them right now.
O kai mea nui a o ia mai a makou o mai kumu snowbird. Pono o e imi noi I ka ike mamua, ka ike kupuna, ka ike kuuna. Nui nā mea kupono no ka aina, ka wahi, ka ua, ka makani e pēlā wale aku. I nā hiki no ke ho'ohui ia mau mea, kui lei, kui mele, pēlā no e ho'omaua I ka haku mele. Because no ka mea maano lako I ka haku mele a o mako he mea hou ke ia ia mako. No laila ua mai ka ino ko lako alaka I ana mai ia mako.
To know that in 2020, we have young people who are as adamant as those first aloha aina warriors that we got to experience. Things like Kahoolawe, retracing ancestral pathways and utilizing indigenous ancestral wisdom. All those things led to this.
One of the sayings that we hear a lot, huli kalima ilalua hana, is the act of turning your hands towards the earth and creating something, helping things to grow, bringing back the beauty of the aina. And that's how we should feel about all of our aina. Our kupuna say we come from aina. Our genealogy says we come from aina. And we malama our kupuna as Hawaiians. So.
And what the land gives back to us, for me in particular, is solace. One day, when I'm not here, you're gonna continue. They're gonna know the story of the place. And hopefully that story continues, that they'll be deeply rooted in that, and that they'll be empowered to make decisions that are good for them and their people around them. So that when you move forward as a people, you're not moving forward under someone else's story. You're moving forward under your own.
The topics are already given to us by the kumu. And signing up for it, it meant that you had to list your various knowledge in like mele, olelo, Hawaii, and you chose your top 3. And what the kumu wanted was some sort of connection with the students into their topics. Kumu Pueopata was like this big open book of knowledge. And for me, he was the first person to say that making this mele and making this mele good is more than just like having words and having this melody. There's a specific process to do it.
Hawaiian music is in a new stage once again, where the lyrics are important, the form of composition is important, and it's not just based on hula ability or a catchy tune, although those do play into it. But I know that with these students that I worked with at least, I have great confidence that they're going to be able to carry on the lyrical types of traditions that we've inherited from our kupuna. So the theme is aloha aina. When I was a student in hula, one of the kupuna, Auntie Diane, said to us, "Oh, what does aloha mean?" It's obviously beyond hello, goodbye, and love. They all got a chance to see that aloha is a concept. It doesn't have just one easy definition, but the concept is surrounding empathy and sympathy. You might have pride of land or pride of birthplace, but from a Hawaiian point of view, aloha aina centers not on governance, but on aina. It centers on land. And that aloha means that you not only have love for the land, but you have empathy and sympathy for the land and everything that it provides for you and everything that you do to it. Water is supposed to be a public trust. And so the governing entities are supposed to maintain that trust. Through the late 1800s, early 1900s, there were so many court cases that actually put water into private interests' hands. In doing so, it left the public trust. It no longer is for the benefit of the public, it only benefits a few. You have contested cases in California and these very aggressive lawyers who defend those cases for the privatization of waters. Those lawyers are now becoming players in Hawaii's water issues, and they are fighting for the privatization of water. So the ahupua'a system is actually a land management system based upon water resource. Fresh water affects the ocean line, it affects the limu, it affects the type of fish that are around there. It affects the entire environment that Hawaiians depend upon. And so to restore water rights is a way for us to restore environmental health. With environmental health, we can return back to certain ways which would give us a type of food sovereignty. They're all interconnected, I should say. And it all is based on wai, and it's all based on the water cycle, a healthy water cycle. Traditionally, there was a form of water diversion in the form of auwai. The vast majority of that water, when it left the stream bed, went through the agricultural system and was fed back into the stream bed. The types of water diversions that started with sugarcane times was to remove the entirety of water from a stream, move it completely away from that ahupua'a, completely out of that moku in some cases, into a different community where the water did not make its way back into the stream or even into the ocean after that. Today, in upcountry, the water comes from Kahoolawe side. Some of the streams have been restored, but a lot of them do not have connectivity. In the Nawai'eha area as well, we have like the Kama'auwai system, Kalani'auwai system. Those are traditional systems that were there to feed the lo'i of commoners and the ali'i. But when Spreckles came in and started diverting water from Waihe'e all the way out into the plains of Kama'oma'o and other places, that's a complete disruption of the water cycle. In the traditional sense, there was a small diversion, but not an obstruction of water. And now you have a complete obstruction and the water is taken to a completely different ahupua'a, completely different district, and it never makes its way back to the ocean.
I think for our cohort, it was more of this idea that unity can bring change, and that water diversion doesn't only affect like the land, but it affects the people. We've seen the decline of water in Maui and how it affects the community and affects the Hawaiians there.
Our song speaks of the importance of water in this situation and in Kanaka Maoli way of life.
The political landscape has changed, the legal landscape is changing, but because we are raising our children to be extremely vigilant and educated in our traditional ways, they are the ones that we have to further equip to be ready to fight for these rights.
Through these mele, through your actions, through us as Kanaka Hawaii, the aina lives on.
Because it's a symbiotic relationship. If the land is sick, you look at the people more than likely they're sick too. But when the land is thriving, you look at the people more than likely are thriving.
Aloha aina is more than just a saying. It's being aware that what you do affects your surroundings.
Aloha aina means to be loyal to the place you live and to do what is necessary for your land to flourish.
There's more than just singing the song. Now there's this idea of how are we going to use this song to kind of influence the next 100 years?
So that 100 years from now, our great-great-grandchildren will have a picture of us and they will know that we fought. And they will know that we were victorious.